Hi all, this is Param. In this video, we will see some of the aspect of security enablement within the Elasticsearch. Okay. So obviously, in the earlier videos, we have seen how the security has been provided within the Elasticsearch, like key store, audit log, authorization, IP filtering, authentication. In fact, okay, communication layer security by TLS or SSL certificates. Okay. So okay, so some of the small topics I want to cover here. Okay. First thing is set up password for native and users. Okay, you know Elasticsearch comes with a set of built-in user, we call as a native user. Okay, right? Or built-in users. Okay, so we have to set the password. In fact, okay, we have to set the password. But once you configure all the TLS or communication related security, okay, communication related configuration or certifications, okay, you may need to set up the you may need to reset your password. Okay, so we can reset password either by API or either by command prompt. Okay, so if you are having access to the command prompt, then you can use the command prompt. Okay, if you have access to the command prompt, you can use the command prompt. Okay, so here the password will be asked. Here password will be passed as a parameter. Okay, now one of the options. Okay, or you can reset the password using the API also. Very simple. Whenever you don't have access to the terminal, then or else you have only the keyboard, only you have access means then in the case you can update the password for password any times. Of course, the password is not, I mean, password changes, it's not like only at the time of after completion of your security. Okay, that is a good behavior, good recommended behavior. But not only these times, whenever you want to change, you can change. Okay, whenever you want to change your password, you can change. Okay, so this is how you can change your password. Okay, the second thing is cipher suit. You know the cipher purpose of the cipher suit, what is not to encrypt the data, right? So data goes through the goes through the HTTP protocol or TCP protocol as within the transport layer for the nodes, or within the between the client and Elasticsearch. Okay, okay, so we want to encrypt the data, right? So okay, so what is algorithm you have to use? How much you want strong encryption you need, okay, to protect your data. Okay, that is what. Okay, there are several cipher suits are there. Okay, so the cipher suits are defined within. Okay, well, let me tell you the cipher suits. Yes, okay, cipher suits are has to be increased if you are using Open Oracle JDK. If it is open JDK, no problems. Already it comes with already enough cipher suit. Okay, so, I mean, you don't need to increase the strength of encryptions. Okay, but if you are using Oracle JDK, you have to manually configure to increase the strength of encryptions. For Open JDK, no problems. Okay, good. So Java cryptography extension JCE. Okay, is the unlimited strength jurisdiction policy files. Okay, so this is what define the what cipher cipher source. Okay, if you want, you can add, you can install additional. Okay, otherwise you can live with your own. Okay, but if you want, you have to add that corresponding jar file and you have to change the configurations with the cipher source parameters. Okay, so this is so you can increase the your encryption. So the strength of encryptions are the strength or value. Okay, you can say like the how effective or okay more secure, you can say. Okay, more secure encryptions. If you are looking for more secure encryptions or more strength of encryptions, you have to check with the cipher suit. Cipher suit already comes with the JVM itself. Okay. Okay. If you want to modify, this is the parameters. Okay, using that cipher suit parameters, we have to modify it. Okay. Okay, then again these are all related to the communications. Okay, right? Cipher suit is related to the communications. Okay, the password reset is common. Okay, password reset is common. Okay, cipher suit is related to the communication, related to the communication means connection between the nodes or connection between the client, something like that. Okay, then support to the TLS and SSL version JDK. Okay, so you listen that Elasticsearch depends on the TLS and SSL or SSL. Okay, implementation comes with the JDK only or JVM only. Okay, so okay, if you want something, you have to you can change or you can configure, but most of the time it's enough. First, that is the first things. Okay, most of the times the implementation comes with Elasticsearch is enough. But if you want, you can okay, say for example FIP 14002, okay, they are providing they are providing the TLS implementations, okay. So you can add as a jar files and you can do the configuration or security policy, all those steps, okay. But the thing is, what is now, you should understand that TLS and SSL, TLS or SSL, okay, both are interchangeable in fact, okay. And the TLS is latest term, SSL is old term, that's it, okay. So don't nothing else, okay. So the implementation of that one that comes within the JDK, that is depend on that is depend by the Elasticsearch for TLS implementations, okay. Of course, there are several versions of TLS versions there, okay. So I think we no need to worry about it much, okay. So if you want that, then that is the times we have to take care of that. What is the TLS TLS implementations you have to use, or version of the TLS implementation you have to use, okay. Still you can configure at the JDK level or JVM levels, okay. That's what JVM option T, okay. Okay. So it's very rare, I would say, okay. So it's changing cipher suit or changing TLS TLS or SSL implementations, okay, it's a very rare, okay, that's what I can say. Okay, if you need, that times you can check. Then security files, some of the security files are used, okay, for file based user for file based role mapping or file based realms, okay, file based realms, okay. We will see there are 6 plus 8, okay. There are 6 plus realms are supported by the Elasticsearch for authentications, okay. One among them is file based, okay. Okay. So here this is the roles, okay. Roles, all the roles are defined if you want something, okay. If you want to define file based, then this is the files you have to change. When this will be useful now, I'll tell you that. Say for example you are running many clusters, okay, or if you are migrating migrating your cluster from different machine to different time, something like that, okay, or your migration happening very often, so okay, from one environment to another server to something. So in the time, so you no need to define, let's say again you are having a lot of custom roles as well, okay. Then that times you no need to define every time using the Kibana or API, okay. So it is best way to declare all the roles in your files and put it in all the put it all the nodes, in fact. So Elastic users, okay, here again say for example again in the same case. So you want to have other than the default or built-in users, okay, you want to have some more users, okay, that those users you are very often going to have in among the different clusters or different migration. Then it is good to have all the username or password in file based. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to open your Kibana or you have to depend on your API, so to create the users, okay. So this is the second option. So this is a very good option. It provide of course more portability, but security is a matter, I'll tell you. So what are the user roles? Okay, so it is role mapping, in fact, okay. It is for file based, I think. Yeah, this is for file based. This is also file based. This is also file based. This is also file based, okay. Okay, if you are using file based realms, that that times it will use it, okay. So here you can see all the users. You can see all the users, okay. And here, of course, in any Elastic clusters, it would be good to have a native realms or file based realms, okay. In addition to that, any external realms, okay. There are 4 external realms. These 2 file and native or internal realms, okay. So it's good to enable either of these one, because of at some point if your cluster has collapsed, okay, if you want to recover, okay, or let's say for example you are depending on the external realms, like let's say Active Directory or LDAP, that you could not able to log in due to some reasons, okay, let's say some reason could be anything, but still if you want to work with your cluster, okay, you can utilize the file based, right. So that's why that's why sometimes, at least, okay, during the initial starting period, sometimes you can have the anonymous user also enabled, okay. But in either way, if you are using the file based, there is mandatory, okay. Some of the user we will be configured native, some of the user we will be configured at the file based, and some of the user actually let's say let's say Default user comes with native. Okay, default, all the default 6 or 7 and 8 plus 8 and 8 user comes with, defined as the native realms. Okay, of course real business user, okay, real customer, okay, real business user, real customers comes through the external JDK, external realms, okay, or LDAP or directory, something like that. Okay, so in between there are some users. Who are they? Say, let's say Elasticsearch admin. Obviously Elasticsearch admin use the Elastic super user. Okay, but still you are, let's say you are having 10 member of teams. Okay, they are going to manage, or they are going to configure, they are going to monitor the Elasticsearch setups. Okay, for them you can have different access. Okay, different authorization aspect. So for those kind of user you can go with the file based. So that what is this user does not depend, no need to go to the open the SAML based or any authentication as the right. So it will be very easy for since they are technical people with respect to Elasticsearch, they can be defined in the file based realms. Okay, okay. Sorry. So this is what Elastic user roles. Okay, so this is our mapping role assignment for the user in the file based realms. Okay, these two, and role mapping is a role mapping.yaml file, right? It is for still if you want to file based mapping for external realms like LDAP, Active Directory, okay, RPK user, anything. Okay, then you can use role mapping.yaml files. All these 4 files are placed in the within the conf directory of Elasticsearch installations. Okay, of course log4j.properties files we will be working for, we will be changing for enabling auditing logs. Okay, or what level we want, what are the information we have to, we will see how to change the audit logs in the upcoming videos. Okay, okay. So the thing is, what is this file has to be in safe place. Okay, okay, and it's not like all the anonymous users can read. Okay, only the appropriate user can read or view or update something. Okay, that's why. Okay, so having file based the realms is good to have recovery phase. At least is good to have actual technical people who are maintaining or who are working with the Elasticsearch clusters. Okay, then is another general topic. It is FIP OS 1042. Don't worry too much. This is a security standard. See, you know, there are some security standards US specific. There are some security standards with the Europe specific. Okay, so this FIP 01 is a US specific. That's what first thing. By default, it is not enabled. Okay, if you want, you have to enable first things. Okay, here you can see, right? So okay, this is how you can enable. By default it is not enabled. Okay, second things, some of the Java version is not supported. Okay, let's say if you are running, of course if you are running Java 8.0 or greater than 8.0, okay, it needs Java 17. Java 17 is not yet implemented this kind of security JVMs. Okay, so this kind of security features or security rules or security guidelines, whatever you say. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay, so either you want to restrict, yeah, this is what here. Okay, if you want this security standard to enforce FIP is 1042. Okay, if you want to enforce the security standard, either you have to be, as of now today, maybe tomorrow will change, as of now, so you have to be less than, you have to select version of Elasticsearch less than 8.0. Okay, okay, if you don't need this kind of, you can compromise, still you are running in the US, then you can go for 8.0, no problems. Okay, it is just because of 8.0 depending on the JDK 17. JDK 17 is not a certified. That's it. That's what JDK 17 is not a certified this security compliance. That's what, nothing else. Okay, maybe JDK Java 17, right? Maybe in like in upcoming Java versions, maybe implement all these security guidelines. So that times you can go with 8.0 of Elasticsearch as well. That you can, and in that you can enable this FIPS 1042 is a security guidelines. But this is kind of is not necessary for everyone. In fact, whenever you need, that times you can go through. In fact, I don't have any depth knowledge of these things. Okay, so whenever we need, that times we may consider. Okay. Okay, so obviously we have seen these are the 4 topics within this in this series. So obviously though they are using very rarely, but you should be familiar. Okay, that's what I can say. Of course, these two cipher suit and TLS implementations, okay, is related to the communication layer. In fact, okay, security and the communication layer. Okay, security and the communication layer. Okay, these are files we are used to configure. Okay, then of course resetting password is common. Okay, resetting password is common, irrespective of built-in user or user created user or end user. Okay, so resetting at least built-in users, you have to do that. Okay, that's all. Okay, so I think till now we have covered security. Okay, security on the transport layer and security on the communication layer only, right? Yeah, communication layer security. Yeah, communication layer security. Most of the videos all talks. Oh no, come on. In all of these videos, we have majorly we have discussed about the security and the communication layer. Okay, so we will see in the upcoming video. We can see that how the authentication is happening, how authorization is happening. Okay, we will see in the upcoming video. Thank you. Thanks for watching.